Darryl. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
It's very exciting for me to see you and to think that you have been with Aladdin since the beginning. When you think back to that day in 2014 when Aladdin opened on Broadway, how do you even process that? And what do you think about that night versus now?
Well, I kind of gave up a lot to be here in New York. Like, I had a great career in Seattle, and because Disney called me and said, "Hey, we want you to be in Aladdin," I picked up my entire life and I moved here. So, opening night was so exciting, and when we got that standing ovation for Friend Like Me mid-show, and it lasted like 2 minutes, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to be here for a second. So, from then to now, I'm such a big Disney nerd. This is literally my dream job. I'm just so excited to be there every single night. Our audiences are great. And I love our show. I really do.
Wait, let's talk about your Disney nerdum
Okay.
because it's real. It's
It's
real. Tell me about how it flows with your wife, with your
yeah,
everything.
absolutely. So, they pay me to be on Broadway, surprise. But they should just keep my paycheck because I'm always at Disney.
Don't tell them that. What are you
I just
saying?
recycle it right back into the company. I love Disney cruises. My family loves Disney cruises. Um, it's it's something about how they treat their guests like family, right? And I feel like we have that same kind of notion on Broadway as well, right? We just welcome everyone into our theater, and it's so warm and friendly, and it's a really truly it's a Disney experience outside of Florida and California. um
I love that you say that you're warm and welcoming because
yeah,
you are a villain.
I know, I'm nice in real life. I promise everyone I'm nice in real life.
But
But
tell
yeah.
me about tapping into that villain part of you,
Yeah.
that villainous parrot that you are.
Yes. I have an older sister, so I've grown up to be training to be a Disney villain my entire life. And villains have more fun, right? They eat the best food, they have the best costumes. I really get to tap into uh, something that I think everyone thinks about, say, like things that people want to say, but they don't get to say. And that's fun, right? You get to be a little naughty.
And when you're a little naughty, how does the audience react? Because I feel like they eat you up. They love it.
They really do. I feel like our audiences see something in me that they're like, oh, I understand that. I get that. I've always wanted to do that. And the level of fun that I have on stage, I also think is kind of criminal. And I think they also enjoy that as well.
You've been with the show for so long. You've seen casts come and go.
That's right.
Tell me about that. Just like the change that's gone on and why you've decided to stay.
So this is an awesome question, and nobody has actually ever asked me this question. It's it's kind of difficult, I have to say, right? Because Disney was so good at putting the original cast together, right? All of us, the ensemble, literally everyone around us. And when people go, it's really sad, right? But when new people come in, it's really exciting. And I am one of four, I think four or five original cast members left in the show. So I've literally seen hundreds of people come and go. And as painful it is to say goodbye to people, um, you know that they're so talented, and it's like time for the rest of the world to see them. So it is exciting, it is sad. Um, but like I said, I love our show so much that I am gonna die there. I'm going down with the ship. You know what I mean? I've been there, since Seattle, basically 2011. So on Broadway just alone, that's 4,200 performances.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I love it. I do.
So you play Iago.
Yes.
Iago, there wasn't an Iago on stage last season with Jake Gyllenhaal in Othello.
Yeah.
Did you feel like some camaraderie, some brotherhood with that character?
No.
How weird.
It is weird. Because I felt like he was gunning for my job. It was like
Yeah.
it was a little like, I'm gonna play Iago elsewhere, but like Disney wink wink, this is what I actually want to do.
I felt that too, just
Yeah.
watching Othello.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, Iago comes from, I think, Shakespeare, and there is a little bit of a little tie between, I think.
Yeah. But you have a signature laugh in the show.
Yes.
And how did you find that laugh in rehearsal? And how did you know that it landed?
hmm
And has it changed over time?
Okay, so this is a secret that I've not really told anybody.
We're learning so much. I love it.
Jonathan Freeman is the original Jafar on Broadway and is the voice of Jafar in the movie. my evil laugh is actually an imitation of his evil laugh from the movie. So it's kind of a vicious cycle, truly. I'm doing my best Jonathan Freeman impression uh,
So
in
when
my
you did
evil
that
laugh.
originally, did he
Yeah.
notice that? Did he feel that you were imitating?
No, no, I don't think so. I mean, we've had many conversations about how much the movie meant to me and how awesome it was to work with him. So I think maybe he had a little bit of an inkling, but he wasn't like, stop copying me.
There are many productions of Aladdin around the world.
Yes,
So there are many versions of Iago out there. Do you ever meet them?
I have.
What is that
So
like?
I went to Tokyo this year. I also went to Seoul, Korea, where there was a Korean production of Aladdin. It was really awesome. So Tokyo actually is very close to the original version that we opened. After COVID, we actually cut like 5 minutes off of the show. So a lot of the old jokes that were in the show originally are still in the Japanese production. So I was able to like follow along and then remember like I had like these sudden flashbacks of like, oh my gosh, I love that joke. Even though I couldn't really understand, I knew exactly what was happening.
Are there laughs imitating your laugh, imitating Jonathan Freeman? My head is exploding.
Yeah. No, I think culturally it's a little different,
Hmm.
right? Um, some of the mannerisms are the same, but I think a lot of the evil laugh is culturally specific.
Aladdin is a long running show. It's been around for so long. Why do you think it lands with audiences night after night? Because it does.
It really does. I mean, it's very rare for us to have a bad house. Um, I think we're at the time where like I grew up with the movie as a kid, and now I have my own kid, so it's like the perfect time for this beautiful musical to exist. Right on Broadway, we try to bring them the nostalgia, but we also reinvent because we're on Broadway and we're doing things live. There is a magic carpet, just like the movie. So I think it's the perfect balance of old and new, right? They're coming expecting the movie, but we really bring it to another level for them.
When did you know you wanted to be a performer?
Okay. I wanted to be a performer, actor specifically in high school. We didn't really have a drama department in like my grade school, so I didn't really know what that was, right? And I decided to audition for the spring musical my freshman year of high school. It was Anything Goes, and I was cast as a sailor, and I was like, I don't know what this is, and I quickly learned that I loved it.
So you knew from that moment on.
From that moment on, my junior year of high school was when I decided I wanted to be a professional
And
actor.
what was your first moment of being bit by the Disney bug?
Oh, there is a picture of me when I was probably about 4, and I'm wearing this sweatshirt that has Mickey and Goofy on it, and they're playing hockey. And it's from Halloween, and I loved Disney so much that I asked my parents. I said, I want to be Goofy and Mickey for Halloween. So I'm wearing a Goofy snout with the teeth and Mickey ears, and
Combo.
that's when I knew. Yeah, I couldn't just have one. I needed to have it all.
You are not the first person I've ever spoken to who loves Disney and works in a Disney show. So,
Mhm.
do you ever meet other actors or co stars who are super into it as well?
Yes,
Tell me about that.
absolutely.
Tell me about nerding out with them.
I mean, okay, so
Because I know
the
James Monroe Iglehart, for example, who's
yes,
the original Genie,
yeah,
is a super Disney nerd.
yes, that's right. Um, there are times where we will take a day trip to Disney. So, like, if we're transitioning from, like a 4 show weekend to a 5 show weekend, we have the matinee on Sunday. We'll get on a plane, go to Disney World as like a few cast members of Friends. We'll go to Disney World all day Monday, and then we fly back Tuesday morning.
That's
Like,
crazy.
yeah, but it's so fun. You know what I mean? It's just a quick
All right, so give
carpet
us
ride
your
down.
best like Disney secret because there are people out there who are super into it, and I
Yeah,
know that you know all the best things to do.
I do. This is.
You're an
I say that
you are an
with
expert.
such confidence. Did you just hear? I do. I really do. Okay, this is not such a big secret, but Disney popcorn is so delicious. They put this chemical in it called flavicol, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
very salty and buttery,
Yeah.
but it's the best value on property. So if you buy a souvenir popcorn bucket for about 15 bucks, you can get it refilled for $2.50. So, and you can snack all day. Like my biggest secret. And you can bring the popcorn buckets back to the park every single time you go. You don't always have to buy a new one.
I just want to go with you. I
You
feel like you're
should.
such an
It really
expert.
is fun.
So, how do people respond to you, not only at curtain call, but at the stage door? Being a villain is tough.
Yes.
You know, they're not necessarily cheering for you. How does that feel?
It's hard for the little littles,
Hmm.
right? When I approach them, I try to like get down on their level, or I tell them like I promise I'm not going to do anything
I'm not
bad to
really a
you.
parrot.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really really nice, I promise. But when I meet like the big Disney fans, it's fun because they're like you're funny, you're fabulous. I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting, like a Zazu puppet, but here I am, a tiny little human that screams a lot, and they have fun. They have fun with it.
We don't always get to meet our heroes, but you did. So,
Mhm.
tell me about it.
Okay, so Lea Salonga she's a star in the Philippines.
She's a star everywhere.
She's a star everywhere. But I grew up like with cassette tapes of Lea Salonga's albums,
Hmm.
right? And my parents bought those for me, and like she would sing in Tagalog, and I loved all her songs. And then I found out that she was like huge in mainstream American entertainment, and I was like, that was one of the first moments where I was like, I think I could do that. I honestly believe that if they're willing to accept like a Filipino actor, entertainer, I think I can do that also here. And so when I met her, she's so sweet. First of
Always
all,
so kind.
I I told her, I said I grew up with your tapes, and she her response was, well, who bought those for you? And I told her my parents, and every time I see her, it brings me so much joy to know that she's such a big part of the Disney family as a Disney legend,
Hmm.
and that she's like a down to earth Filipino. Like it's so cool.
It's so great that she inspired you and that she lived up to that when you met her.
Truly, honestly, and like when we're on Broadway at the same time, also that is such like I feel like superhuman, right? It's so cool to be part of the representation of Filipinos on Broadway.
I love that. Iago is not just a character in the show.
Mhm.
It's a very specific thing to have a relationship with the audience and comment and sort of tell the story a little bit. So tell me about that aspect of it.
Yeah, so kind of very famously, like the cup of tea scene, right, where you kind of have to explain to the audience without like hitting them over the head with the plot. I have a lot of that actually in the kind of throughout the show, and I feel a huge responsibility because on top of seeing the lamp for the first time with the genie at the very very top of the show, I have to explain that we need to find that lamp, and I introduce the idea of the lamp. So in amongst all of my jokes, there is a lot of pressure that builds to make sure that the audience gets what we're about to do.
Right, you have a real purpose.
I do. As
It's not just comic relief.
no, no, not just like flopping on the floor or like getting thrown into a building. It's honestly like it's helping set up the rise and the fall of Jafar.
I feel like your character is so full of energy. How do you pump yourself up to get on stage every night?
That's a great question. I'm excited to go into the show without a preconceived notion of what's going to happen that night, right? Because we could have an audience full of tourists who don't speak English, and some of the jokes will go above their heads, but they love the musical numbers. And other times, I get to like languish a little bit in the extra laughter, and I'll put little Easter eggs here and there if we get extra laughs. Um,
Wait, you have to give us one Easter egg.
oh,
Come on,
okay.
please.
So there's one scene where I call it the laughing scene. It's after Friend Like Me, and we're talking to the Sultan and Princess Jasmine, and we've revealed that Aladdin is dead, right? And so afterwards, we're kind of excited about it, and we laugh. And depending on how the audience laughs or how they react, there are different reactions that happen on stage. That's all
Oh,
I'm gonna say.
so
That's all I'm
you
gonna say.
so we as the audience affect your performance.
Absolutely. You're like the 36th cast member, I think.
36.
Yeah. There's a lot of us on stage.
There are a lot of people in
Yeah.
that show,
Yeah.
and yet you stand out. How do you do it? You're just a
Um,
star.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. I've said it a million times. I just freaking love being on Broadway. I love Disney. This is like it's truly my dream job.
It shows. It shows when someone loves what they do.
Oh, yay, thanks. And
Well,
that's why I've been there for 12 plus years.
and maybe 12 more. You never know.
I think so. I hope so. If I live that long, I guess.
Well, thank you for coming in. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much.